Yeah, so I mean, I guess we could just start podcasting again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so if we have to. Yeah.
Do you guys? Shoot, there is an audience.
There's a camera over there.
There's a camera. There's lights.
I guess we should
just get
let's
going.
Just do it. Okay.
All right. Well, welcome back. How you doing, folks? And welcome back to the Mind Rewind. I'm Joel, still Joel, even after all this time, and I'm joined here by Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
Oh, hello, John. Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
When John Hammond's doing the little tour, he's like, "Hello, John. Hello, John.
It's pretty
hello,
good.
John." You look different.
I look very different. Yeah, I look very different.
But also the space looks different.
The space is completely different.
The last time we recorded physically in the same room,
that was a long
quite
time
a
ago,
while
yeah.
ago. Much different space, but we're here now. Somewhere.
Undisclosed location
where I live. And it's not perfect yet, but you tell me if you disagree. I missed recording the show.
Yeah, of course.
I've missed it.
If we didn't miss it, we probably wouldn't
have come back. Yeah. I mean, it's not very much like us to like go on a hiatus of a show and then not come back.
Of anything we've ever worked on, this is the longest real hiatus we've ever gone on.
But I think we both missed it, and we said, you know what, we have the space. We both have the time now. I was getting married.
Well, we kind of
have the time.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
It's more of a me thing than a you thing this time.
It's me. It's not me. It's you.
Yeah, it was you before.
It was me before. But no, this space, we're both excited about it because it's our space.
Yeah, we won't.
It's not borrowed space.
Yeah, it's not going to be a thing where we're going to have to like worry about when we're going to still be able to use it. That's up to you.
We can literally kind of just do this whenever we want.
Yeah. And for as long as you want.
And as long as I want. As long as I'm here.
Yeah, as long as you specifically want, you and one other person.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you look around right now, it's a little bland. I'm probably going to get some curtains for behind me so you guys aren't having to look at blinds.
Yeah, we could have waited a little longer to shape the space up a little bit more before we came back, but we wanted to come back sooner.
We were both just ready to go. We were both saying like, let's get this going again.
This was hard to schedule.
It was kind of hard to schedule.
Yeah, hard to schedule.
But we're back. We're back
officially. We've only seen each other like I think in person twice in the last like what? 4 months?
I mean, like Ryan said, and you're gonna hear say this a ton of times on this episode, but we're just both very busy people between work.
Happily busy.
Yeah, happily busy.
Yeah.
Between work, personal things, we have our own lives outside of the podcast. Believe it or not, as much money as we make on this podcast, you'd think we'd dedicate our entire life to it.
You would hope so.
But we don't. We want to make sure we make time for our friends and family and baseball games and, watching your team get eliminated from the playoffs or watching your team stay in it if this doesn't date when this episode is being recorded.
We know the only thing we know for sure is that one of our teams is certainly not playing as this episode comes out. Potentially both.
Potentially both.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
There's
a game going on right now that I don't know.
Ryan is chomping at the bit to get to the break of this episode, which is quite a ways away.
Still a ways away,
to see the score update.
Yeah. I finally learned to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, so that way I don't get notifications as we're recording the episode and that shows up in the audio, and you have to cut it out
or just leave it. You bring this up because I was never a Do Not Disturb guy, and I will admit part of the reason was because I'm dumb. I always thought that when you turn Do Not Disturb on, you know how you don't get like notifications or anything?
Sure.
I thought it was because it basically disconnected you from the internet.
No,
like when I'm watching playoff games, right? I always turn my notifications off and stuff like that, like in the different apps. Yeah. Because I don't want to get the streams are always like 5-10 seconds behind. So I don't want to get a text that's like such and such big play just happened, and then it ruins me seeing it.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to get a notification of Padres didn't score again.
Yeah, the Padres didn't score for the 25th straight inning. So I would never use Do Not Disturb. I would just do the notifications. Well, we were on our honeymoon, and I was like, I don't want to be. I'm on my phone a lot.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't want to be on my phone as much as I normally would. I really want to be enjoying this and being out here. And it was a great trip that we went up to, Monterey and whatnot. So I started using Do Not Disturb, and then I realized, like, oh no, you could still just use your phone. It just silences everything else.
Yeah, you just don't. You can do whatever you want on there. You just don't get the notifications.
Right.
Like people can still message you, and you can get alerts from apps, but you have to go in and look at them.
Yes. So I've become a big do not disturb guy. Actually.
Do you turn it on when you sleep?
I have started to when I remember.
Yeah.
It hasn't become part of like my nightly routine, but it kind of is. Like I'm slowly.
You're gonna integrate it.
Yes. An issue I run into is, what is it? The top left, it puts the little moon.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
So
you'll forget that it's on. Yeah.
So most people at home probably don't know this. My drive to work, I drive through an area that's about, in terms of time, about 25 to 30 minutes.
It's dead zone.
Just dead zone.
Yeah, we've been
dead
on the
zone.
phone before,
Ryan and I have been on calls where I'm like, hey, dude, I'm about to go into, Ortega Highway. You're going to lose me. And so the other day, I had put it on Do Not Disturb when I went to bed. And Sam usually wakes up when I'm on my way to work. Usually when I'm in the middle of Ortega Highway. Mm-hmm. And then once I'm out, I'll get the text from her and I'll, say, hey, good morning, whatever. Well, I forgot I was on Do Not Disturb. And I got all the way to work and had not texted her. And I was like, in my mind, even kind of thing, I was like, oh, it's crazy she hadn't texted me yet. I finally, and you'd think like I would see it, like notification or something on my phone, but like I, whatever, had Spotify or whatever going. And it wasn't until I got to work that I looked and I was like, oh my goodness. And she was like, where are you? Like, are you okay? Like, why are you responding? And so that's a little danger I kind of run into with the Do Not Disturb is I feel like there are going to be times where I just forget. And there have been even times besides that where I've just been like doing something else. I'm like, I'm surprised no one's messaged me back. And I'm like, oh, I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Now you know why.
But
I'm not a fan of Do Not Disturb.
No?
I kind of can't be in my
with
line
what
of work.
you do. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't just have my phone off for a couple hours and not get contacted by any rep or whatever that's
like
reaching out to me.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, he needs my direct
Michael
line.
Bay.
That'd be fun. I mean, direct line of contact for me.
M. Night Shyamalan calls you.
Sure.
But you're also getting a phone call from David Ayer.
Okay.
Which role are you accepting?
Well, I don't know what the roles are.
Okay, they don't tell you.
They're like, hey,
they just say, I want you on my next project. I want you on my next project.
I mean, I could probably make it work for both. We're shooting
no, the exact same days.
I don't know if I have an answer for that. That's a tough call. I don't know. Probably M. Night. Probably want to work with M. Night. Both would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In no way would those be not a good time.
Well, also, I'm the type that, like, if you get to me first, like, if I'm making plans, if I make, like somewhat simple, generic plans, like, I'm going to go get coffee with this person, and then somebody else later in that day is like, hey, I got tickets to this big-ass thing. I am the type of person who would be like, I kind of already made plans with another person. I don't know. Like, I will... A lot of times I will reach out to that person, like, hey, like, this, I just got offered this thing or whatever it is. Right. Are you cool if we reschedule? And if they can't reschedule, I'll honor the plan. So that's kind of similar to this situation. Like, if I'm already on the phone with one of them and then the other calls, like, oh, I signed on to this project.
I just think in your scenario, I can't imagine you skipping a big ass thing.
I don't know what that means.
You said, I got tickets to this big ass thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just seems like something you'd be into.
No comment.
All right. Yeah. So going back,
you lost where you're going with that, huh?
So going back
to make the yuck and you lost train of thought. Yeah.
Going back to the studio space.
Yeah. What do we want to talk about?
We don't want to talk about anything.
Right, we have a topic, but
we do have a topic.
We're also kind of just here.
Do we want to talk about the topic?
A little bit. I do. I have thoughts.
I do also have thoughts, and I have one screenshot.
Yeah, I don't have any screenshots. I came prepped with nothing because you kind of told me, like, yeah, if you want your computer, you use it. But kind of going bare bones.
This episode, we both agreed, especially, again, being in this new space, whatever else, this is just getting back into it. I don't want to say it's a warm-up episode. That's not what it is.
No, we've done
It's like an interlude.
We don't need warm-up episodes.
It's like an interlude, and I don't mean that in the sense of, like, we're going to change the show.
There are some new things.
There are going to be new things, but, like, as a whole, the show's the same. We're still doing the same thing. We're not, like, changing the format. Like, oh, now we're only doing retro,
no,
whatever. Like, no,
we're just cleaning it up a little bit. Yeah, cleaning it up around the edges.
And so, much like an athlete would say, let's say we're like pitchers that are rehabbing, right? We're
Sure.
gonna go down to the minors for a little bit, and,
Yeah.
and, you know, maybe double A, single A, whatever, and kind of get some reps in.
Mm-hmm.
This is us getting reps, but also like reps in the show.
Yeah.
You know,
Talent's still there.
the talent's still there. We just got to kind of work it out.
Absolutely. Work the kinks out a little bit.
That's what.
Work the kinks out.
Oh, okay.
Bit.
Yeah. I know something we do need to talk about though.
Okay.
Ryan, you mentioned that we haven't seen each other too much in the last few months.
I think maybe 2 or 3 times in the last like 4 months.
And when was the last time we saw each other?
It was last weekend, right?
Yeah.
We went to Los Angeles Comic-Con, which is so annoying for us now.
Yes.
Because when we first went, it was back in December, which for those of you that know me, know that December is a much easier time to schedule me for things as opposed to September and October. So having to go do that on a Saturday, I could like tell like a little bit of backstory. So most of you would know I work Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and those nights tend to run till about 3 in the morning. I don't get home till like 3 in the morning. Sometimes I don't get to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So it's tough. So we had such limited amounts of time. Both of us, for different reasons, had to leave LACC relatively early, but we wanted to get full use of, you know, our day there and our passes, which shout out to them for approving us.
Shout out to LA Comic-Con for once again approving us for media.
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row.
I kind of held it like this, so they might not even be able to tell it's 3 years in a row. So it was like, I think I got to bed at like 5 in the morning, and I had to be up at maybe 8 because we needed to be down at Union Station around like 9-ish.
9.
Yeah, we were around there around 9, and then we had to take the trains, and we got there a little after 9:30. And then we were gonna leave at 12, I think, or 12:30, but we got distracted.
We were just at like 12:30.
We got a little distracted by some of the stuff that was there, which is a good thing because there were things to do, things we wanted to see. We will have some footage, I believe.
Yeah, maybe we'll lay it over this while we're talking about it or
It's
something.
not going to be anything extravagant that we have, because for this format of the show, with the show's format being like nostalgic products and things like that, those are the types of things we were seeking out.
Right.
It's not like how it was in the past where like we would do interviews or watch panels
cosplayers
or things or things like that. It's just like, no, like our show is about these rare items that people remember, or these rare themed things that people remember. Let's try and find some of those. And we did a good job of that.
We did. We found a good bit of
right out
stuff,
the gate, we found something incredible. Do you remember the first
I'm trying to think what you're referring to.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
VHS setup.
Oh, yes.
We found the first thing we saw right by the main entrance really was like a huge setup of a bunch of old VHS tapes.
And we probably went back there like 3 or 4 times.
I think we did. We went back once, and the guy like kind of like shepherded us in, and we were like, "Oh, we've been here.
We've already been here. We probably know more than you at this
honestly,
point."
Yeah. We did some good stuff in there. So we will have some footage. Like Joel said, we'll either be playing it at some point during this, or we'll release it separately.
Later on, we're talking about something completely different. I'll roll that footage.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'll be good. But that was last time we saw each other, and it was a good time. But both of us had to wrap out of there pretty quick. I had to go back to work. You had a family
dinner,
engagement. Yeah.
I will say, and this is nothing against LA Comic-Con, obviously, but both of us, well, no, that's just LA. Both of us were a bit surprised at how low attendance was this year.
And I talked to some people that also were there, a lot of people actually, and they all said the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I have friends from many different avenues that working in the entertainment space.
Electric Avenue.
Yeah. They all said the same thing, that the Saturday crowd was pretty light.
It's kind of weird because like, obviously, San Diego Comic-Con.
That's the Mecca.
Is the Comic-Con.
It's like San Diego, New York, C2E2 in Chicago.
Brazil,
and then after that, everybody just kind of fits in somewhere.
Yeah, you get like WonderCon and LA Comic-Con around the same kind of like
same vibe. Yeah, I would say they're very similar. Yeah,
but it was just so interesting because like LA Comic-Con is definitely growing this year. I mean, like I don't mean in terms of size. How do I word this? Like I don't want to use the word credibility either, but they're starting to draw bigger names compared to our first year. The first year we went, there were some good names there. But like this year, we went and there was a panel for Back to the Future, and it was like the whole cast pretty much.
And they had like the 2 big draws for like the meet and greets were Ewan McGregor
and Hayden Christensen.
So Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah, and then they did a Ewan McGregor panel.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they're starting to get these big names.
They had good ones in years past.
Yes.
Like they had like a lot of the Lord of the Rings guys, I think last year, which is huge.
Sean Astin and Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah, Elijah was there.
Elijah Wood was there, yeah.
I think Billy Boyd was there too, so.
But yeah, it was just odd to me how low the attendance was.
Because our first year, like people that we really like, and we'll probably reference in future episodes, like Steve from Blue's Clues, Tom Kenny, who you all probably know as SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like those are big names for us, but like on a major entertainment platform stage, like it's Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking. It's you're waking up different people to get to come to that.
Speaking of which, by the time this comes out, we'll either have been just about to go, or we'll be going to the annual Back to the Future meetup, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, we just got that cleared for both of us.
Yes.
Just the other day, I officially locked that in.
35th anniversary of the movie.
35, okay.
Yeah, that's or maybe it's next year.
No, it'd be 34.
No, it would be next year.
Yeah, it would be 30.
No, the movie came out in 85.
It was 85.
Then why did Universal post it earlier?
Because when the fan event happens, it'll be 85. It'll be 35 years.
Oh, maybe it means 35 years from the date in the movie? No.
I think. Oh no, because that would be 40.
They literally posted.
That'd be 40 years.
Yeah, they literally posted earlier on Twitter, unless I completely misread this, but this next weekend, or when the event is, whenever this comes out, they're releasing it back into theaters, and it said for the 35th anniversary, which now I'm realizing doesn't make sense.
No, because that would have meant it would have come out in 1990.
Universal, what the hell is going on?
Did it come out in 1985?
No, 85.
Did it?
Yeah,
come
because
out
that's when the
I know that's the setting, but I was just trying to remember.
It came out in 85.
Yeah, I was pretty sure, but
we'll get to the bottom of that.
I'll talk to some people.
Yeah, talk to some people.
I know some people.
I know some people too, just not the right ones.
Yeah, I know a couple of the right ones.
He knows the right ones.
Yeah,
I know the left ones.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yo, it's me.
I think you had something new you wanted to introduce to the show.
I do, in fact. You know, we were saying how we have some new things we want to bring to the show. I came up with this idea a couple of months ago, pitched it, and like most things we pitch to each other, we're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there's not much pitching. It's more like hey, we're going to try this. And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I literally said today, like, yeah, I'm going to debut the new segment today. And he's like, yeah, all right. So, and don't forget, there's a
logo.
Yeah, there's a logo.
It's right here. Look, it's right here.
And I want to say,
look at it.
No, you can't show it. No, you can't show it yet.
Oh,
I have to announce it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Because this heavily involves you.
Most things involving me are heavy.
Yeah, this is super important.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Mind Rewind, welcome to the very first installment of the Ryan Inquisition.
Look at the logo.
Hold for applause.
We'll look at it.
It's pretty good.
It's over there?
It's the first time I've seen it.
Oh, that was right here.
Yeah. Well, you're looking over there.
Well, no, I'm looking like here in this space.
It's first time I've seen the logo, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
Me too.
The Ryan Inquisition.
Me too. I've never seen it.
Great name. Great
Love
name.
it.
Yeah. First name, great. Second name, funny.
First name, last. Second name, greatest.
Nice. Good job. Hey, good job.
My name is last greatest.
Yeah.
What friendship bracelets you got?
I got those from Horror Nights last year. Yeah. Pretty solid.
Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah. I thought somebody stole one the other night. Because he had the same color scheme as this, and I was like, "This motherfucker."
Oh, someone else was wearing black and orange during Halloween.
It was the very end of the night. I was very tired, and the lettering they used were the same, like circular ones that I have here with the white.
Oh, so I was like, yeah, like a lot of other friendship bracelets.
Did he go into my bag and take my thing? I was like, all right, I don't know. Anyway.
Back to my hunch.
What is the Ryan Inquisition? I am the type of person, and you know this, and most of you know this, that I'll just have a bunch of random thoughts pop into my head. A lot of pop culture related thoughts.
It's true.
And a lot of the times I will just message my friends, just be like, question. No other context.
I could probably search question in my phone right now, and you'll see, like, it probably wouldn't be like back to back to back because other people will say things, but a bunch of texts from Ryan that just say question.
And I do it in a way where I say question, and I've gotten better at it recently, but in the past, I would just say question, and I would not ask the question until somebody responded.
He won't. And it's not a bad thing.
No, it's
funny. Makes sense, but like, some people will be like, hey, question, and then send another text that says the question. No, he'll just say question.
Yeah.
And if you don't reply to it, you're never finding out what the question is. Yeah.
It has
later
happened,
on, it'll be like 2 or 3 hours later. You'll be like, okay, what was it? And you'll be like, well, you never asked.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It's true. I've gotten better, though. I try to ask the question.
It's fine.
After.
I don't mind it.
But some people do.
It makes sure that you're ready to receive the question.
It's true. I don't want to ask
as an audience.
I don't want to ask the question. Yes. It is in my mind this way. Like I don't want to ask the question.
On top of
you're
that,
not ready to answer it.
We're also showmen.
Yeah.
So like, if it's a question where you're like kind of building up or something, you're like, I don't want to say question and then just throw it out there.
Yeah. And if it's like a one that I need answered immediately, I will just send the question. Yeah. But so with all those questions said, I thought it would be fun if every episode, one of these random questions that has popped in my head from time to time, I would ask you live on the air.
All right.
And this one
live.
This one is slightly themed to our episode. So the first question for the Ryan Inquisition. Joel, you're a big fan of dinosaurs.
Big fan.
Big fan. We've probably talked about what your favorite dinosaur is. I don't want you to tell me or them yet, because I don't want it to influence potentially what your answer to my question is. There's so many cool dinosaurs. Big, small, herbivores, carnivores. They all have different sizes, shapes, different attributes to them. Joel, my question to you. Which dinosaur would be the most fun to ride on?
This is tough because obviously you have to bring a lot of things into it. Are you trying to go fast? Are you trying to
you have to decide
be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I kind of start leaning towards... No, I know my answer.
Okay.
My answer would be a Pachycephalosaurus.
So...
Are you familiar?
Probably. We'll show a picture of it.
It's really funny because there's a car outside.
That's fine.
Now. We're figuring things out, okay?
Yeah.
We'll show the picture on the screen. It's right here. Look.
It's a nice looking dinosaur.
So it's right where the logo was.
So it's the
dome-headed one.
The one that they had like an old Jurassic Park toy where the head would pop out.
Yes.
And you hit the trigger. That was my favorite one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
My reasoning.
That and the T-Rex that you could take a piece of his like flesh off was funny too.
You like that? Yeah, I liked all those dinosaurs. Really, you're like, oh, this dinosaur. You see like their bones.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, this is their leg. Why is that a rib cage?
Yeah. Right.
Pachycephalosaurus size is like right around the size of like maybe like a horse.
They stand pretty upright.
Yes.
So
yeah.
They're hard to ride on, wouldn't it?
Maybe, but you could. I mean, you can kind of build some sort of saddle that sits on them the right way.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to control like.
Here's the thing: is
I mean, back or
any of the dinosaurs that'd be fun to ride in terms of speed are going to be upright. They're going to be bipedal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not like a Triceratops maybe.
That would be cool, yeah.
But like I think a Pachycephalosaurus is like the perfect combination of speed. It can do some damage.
Yeah.
It's got speed, but it's also got size.
Yeah.
Because something else we need to consider, right? I feel like a lot of people right away be like, I want to ride a Velociraptor.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not to be that guy.
Yeah.
But like
can't do it.
In real life, that's not what they look like.
It's like a pterodactyl. Same thing.
Like a real Velociraptor was like this big.
Yeah.
They're like chicken size.
No, pterodactyl, same thing. They're light.
Yeah, and it's like I can't do that.
Even the pterodons they're big, but they're light.
So, my answer would be Pachycephalosaurus.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Great. Oh, I'm not answering these.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just for you.
Great. Well, that was.
Yeah. Say it. It's the Ryan Inquisition.
Say the name of it. Let's try that again.
Okay.
But we're keeping this all in.
Yeah, of course.
Let's try this again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was
the Ryan Inquisition. Thank you all. Please leave notes in the comments if you hated this.
Or if you're even just watching this, please leave a note in the comment.
Yeah, to leave any note you want. Take a note that you've already written and just leave it in the comments.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about this. It could be your grocery list.
Yeah.
It could be your shoe size.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I write those things down in case I forget.
Honestly, yeah.
What I don't know. I might wake up tomorrow and not remember anything.
Yeah.
I should probably know what size my shoes are. 50 First Dates. Great film. Great film.
It's good.
It's great.
Okay.
It's great to its standard.
Okay. I like
Let's
that.
do that.
I like that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. The Joel Inquisition. 50 First Dates though, or Fever Pitch.
Which do I prefer?
Mm-hmm.
I do like parts of Fever Pitch. I don't watch the end.
Is your favorite part of Fever Pitch when they win the World Series?
No, I don't watch that part. I'll turn the movie off.
Why? I can't imagine that would bother you for any reason.
Makes me very sad. 13-year-old Ryan does not like the end of that movie because he lived it. So yeah, it's closer than people would think. but I'd go 50
I
First Dates.
love 50 First Dates so much.
It's a good premise too.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, Barrymore and Sandler throwing heat in that movie.
And Barrymore got to watch people throw heat in Fever Pitch.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
Good point.
Ryan,
Yes.
great job with the Ryan Inquisition.
Thank you.
I
I have other fun ones teed up for the future.
well, I was gonna say maybe we just don't do it again.
That's fine too. Yeah.
Just kidding. What do you think? Let's take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back, and I guess we'll talk about.
I think there's
Our
one. I
actual
think
topic.
there's one more thing
Oh.
that I think we should talk about when we get back from the break.
Oh, before we even get into what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I think one more thing.
Which I think we said already. It's a movie, but we haven't said what movie
we
it
haven't.
is.
And the title does give it away, but it also
The title also has already been said,
Right.
But not in that context.
Yes, the title.
And
It's a double entendre title. Yeah.
Anyone who happens to follow both of us on Letterboxd,
Yeah.
which I think is a couple of you,
Very small amount.
yeah,
Maybe like 5 people.
it might have pieced together. Wait a minute, why did they both watch this?
Yeah. They're just gonna
Today.
kinda give it away. Especially considering you're not that active on Letterboxd anymore. And
No, I am now.
Now you are.
In the last month, I think I ranked 6 or so movies.
Yeah, I've been less active.
I haven't been going out to see as many movies.
I don't. Yeah. I don't have
Still
time.
just very busy with work. I just don't have the time, and I don't have.
and some other stuff.
Yeah, I just don't have the AMC over here like the way I'd want to. I have other theaters that are very good, but I have to
Yeah.
pay for those.
Yeah, of course,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to pay individually.
I think there's another theater around here that's good that I can probably get a pass for.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's Halloween time, and I've been watching I love Hitchcock. You know that.
I do.
So I've been going back and
watched
watching some of the other ones that I haven't seen.
I watched my first Hitchcock movie.
That was your first one, period?
Yeah.
I thought you had just never seen Vertigo is one of my favorite films of all time.
Yep.
Like it is like number 2 all time. And he watched it for the first time the other day. That was your first Hitchcock, period?
Mm-hmm.
So you've never seen Psycho?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've never actually seen
Interesting.
it.
I watched The Birds for the first time the other day.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Worth it. Very worth it.
North by
I had
Northwest,
watched, or
never seen it.
I watched The Birds for the first time all the way through, I should say.
Yeah,
North
that's
by
me with
Northwest,
Psycho. I've
fantastic.
seen plenty of the scenes, but I have not just sat down and watched it.
North by Northwest is really good, especially having seen the backdrop at Academy
Which
Museum.
they don't
you'll
have
love
anymore
that.
there.
I know. What did they turn? That's a.
They're still working on it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be like something that has to do with like I think it's VR related, maybe.
Oh.
can't
I
remember.
was telling my parents.
I love that backdrop. So
No, it's great.
they should have let us take it.
They still haven't been to the
Yeah.
museum, and so I keep telling them I do want to take them out there one day so we can go check that out because
Yeah.
I think they'd really like
I've
it.
taken so many people.
Yeah,
there.
it's great. I mean, it's one of those things nowadays that like if you have people visiting LA that are not from LA, that's part of the allure of LA is Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I recommend going to Warner Brothers. I think it's a great tour. I also recommend going to Universal. The problem with Universal is you kind of also have to go to the theme park, so it like eats more of your day.
I think the Universal Studio Tour is probably my favorite of the studio tours, just because of the like.
It's an
thrillness
attraction.
of it.
Yeah, it's also an
but
attraction.
it is the problem of you have to buy an entire day ticket
Yes.
to go do it. Whereas
Even if you buy like the VIP tour, you're going to the theme park.
Yeah.
It gives you access to the park.
That's
You're
true.
paying for that, you know.
Yeah.
So there's all the Hollywood studio tours around there, and they're all great. We should go do. I've never done Sony's
I've also never done Sony or Paramount.
or Paramount. Yeah,
we should do
I
that.
kind of got a private tour of Paramount sometime from a
That's
friend.
what I did at the Disney
Someone who
lot,
might
yeah.
be listening to this. I don't know if you're listening. Their cousin gave us a little private tour.
Have you gotten the tour of the Disney lot?
No, and that's
Okay.
because I've had the chance.
Yeah.
This is just a very just dumb me thing. I do not want to go on the Disney lot until I'm either having an interview there or working on something on the lot. You know?
This is like your Oscar thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to touch an Oscar. You know.
Mhm.
Anyway, all that to be said,
I like to touch all those things just in the hope of one day getting Space Jammed, and I just absorb talent from
yeah,
it.
there you go.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
So I touch all the Oscars. the
All this
Academy
to
Museum.
say, the Academy Museum is now one of those things that's like if someone's visiting LA,
Yeah, it's a
they
must.
want to see movie
Yeah.
stuff. It's like let's go here because
If
there's
they're
going
even
to be,
remotely a fan of
yeah,
film, you
you're
take 'em.
going to see something you like.
Yes.
You're into the super nerdy, fantastical, sci-fi kind of
They've
stuff.
got it.
Perfect. There's a bunch
And
of
it's
Star Wars
much
stuff
better
for you.
now too.
Yeah,
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 much
yeah.
better.
You're into animation? Great. There's a whole section
It's a
for
little
you.
worse
You know,
than it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, a little
You're
worse.
into classics. Boom, there's stuff here for you. You know what I
Not
mean?
as
So it's
much
like
as you'd hope, but yeah,
it's a place where anyone who likes any
there's something for everybody.
any bit of
for
movies,
everybody.
there's going to be something there for you.
Yeah. With that said, should we take our break?
Yeah. Let's take our break.
Still haven't done it. Yeah.
Because I will go on about the museum for a
Yeah.
long time. So we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
No, we're back.
Yeah, no, we just took the break. Yeah, we're back.
No. Or you like
What?
We're Back?
Yeah, dude.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about this week. We're Back, a dinosaur story.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that. We're back.
We're Back,
A dinosaur story. Hey, look at that.
So for those of you that maybe that didn't immediately click in your mind,
do you think that hit well?
What, that bit?
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, like 1 out of 10.
It worked for us.
1 out of 10. Give me a number.
6.5,
I was
7.
gonna say 7. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when there's not a live studio audience like we used to have.
Yeah, we haven't seen those kids in a long time.
Yeah. I don't want to tell
They're
you.
Probably adults now.
Yeah. We're talking this week about We're Back, a dinosaur story.
There's probably a lot of you that have no idea what we're talking
and
about.
honestly, we kind of said this up front. Who knows how long we're even going to talk about it.
The fact that you and I both knew about this was actually a little surprising.
I am very shocked, actually. And honestly, I think our audience might be the right audience for it.
Oh,
you know what's
so?
interesting?
You think so?
Oh, boy, do I think that's audience for it. Something interesting I think about We're Back. I think it's a movie that a lot of people, if you show them the poster, they're like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you ask them what happens in it, and they'll go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even when I was rewatching it, I was like, yeah, I don't remember.
I remembered it very well.
I remember like the general premise,
Yeah.
but like I could not tell you details.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I didn't remember. For example, how short it was.
Very short.
An hour and 10 minutes with credits.
And that's like, I'm not saying this is a problem currently, but animation when we were young, a lot of times was kind of like that. You know, like look at movies like Land Before Time is probably around that same runtime.
Yeah.
You know,
there were like well-revered animated films that didn't even clock an hour.
Yeah, you know, it's insane. And I think obviously a big part of that too is back then animation was a little more expensive. It's still expensive,
just
but
different types.
Yeah, different
types.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about this week. I'm trying to figure out how I want to put my arm here.
Back then, you couldn't just have somebody work on it from their studio apartment for 14 hours and then send the hard drives out. It's like, no, you got to drive to the studio and literally draw it
with your hand. I don't even know where we want to get started with this. Let's start.
I want to start. I mentioned the runtime. This is an always not heated between us because I generally agree with you, but I know I've seen you have heated conversations with other people about this topic. I think this is one of those cases. This movie's not long enough.
Yeah,
I think it's not long enough.
I think it moves fast,
much faster than I. That's my big takeaway from this. It moved way quicker than I remembered it moving.
Again, this is an animated film
from 1993.
And let's say this too, we're both not of the mindset that animation is a children's medium.
No, but some of our favorite movies are animated.
Right, but there are some animated films that it's like, okay, this is for kids.
And this studio in particular, this was a Universal Amblin project. This studio in particular, especially back then, had their footing in a lot of good animated projects. This was probably lower tier in terms of popularity, even though we both liked it. But they were like mass producing a lot of good things. Yeah. So the fact that they kind of had the runtime short kind of makes sense considering how much they were putting out. Because this is the same studio that was doing American Tail, and I believe Land Before Time was them as well. I think was that Universal?
I might have been.
I think it was
probably.
I think Secret of Nim was them. I could have gotten some of these wrong, but I know it was Universal Amblin team up.
Yeah, It's just like you get to the end of the movie, and not even at the end of the movie. Throughout the movie, there are so many times where you're like, I have a lot of questions about what's happening here. Like there are a lot of things that I would like more details about.
We got to like the halfway point plot wise, and I was like, it's almost over.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Yeah,
rough summarization.
There's really only like 6 scenes.
Yeah, it does. There's not a lot.
Like 6 set pieces, maybe.
Let's say the premise, because then I think we'll be able to really hammer in like what we mean about this. So like, butt in if I miss anything. But
always. Rough
summarization: a scientist from he calls it something. Did he say the far future?
He's from the far future.
He says like the far future
because he mentions like the mid future.
The mid future, right? So the scientist from like the far future, whatever, comes back in time and feeds dinosaurs this cereal that he created. What's it called?
Brain flakes? Something? Brain gain?
Something.
Is it brain gain?
Maybe.
Because the pill one is brain drain.
Yeah, I think it is brain gain. He feeds
But
them
like,
this
I think
cereal.
it was like brain gain flakes or something like that. I feel like flakes was in there.
But it's literally like a cereal.
It's a box of cereal.
And the dinosaurs eat it, and they become like intelligent.
Yeah. Become human level intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they can talk and all this stuff. So
Flirt.
then
They
can flirt.
Yeah.
A big part of this scientist, which I'm trying to remember if this was brought up on Podcast The Ride recently, because I remember hearing something, either it was or something else is very similar to this.
Sure.
The scientist has a wish radio.
Yeah.
Where he can hear the wishes of children.
Yeah.
Well, anyone.
Kind of
but
weird.
Mostly children.
Kind of weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to come back to the wish radio a little later.
Yeah.
So one of the wishes that so many of these kids want to meet dinosaurs. So he makes these dinosaurs intelligent and then sends them to what does he call it? The mid-future?
I think so.
The mid-future, whatever, to basically meet kids. And again, we'll kind of go a little more.
The mid-future is essentially present day. It's 90s New York City.
Well, it's actually 1993.
Yeah.
Because Jurassic Park is premiering at one of the theaters.
Oh, do they show that in the shot? I didn't even notice that.
But so the dinosaurs go. He warns them, hey, I have an evil brother there. Be careful. Lo and behold, the evil brother ends up having an anti-cereal.
It was brain
drain.
Yeah, and it was pills.
Yeah.
It's not cereal.
Pills, yes.
Pills, yeah.
And he runs like a scary circus. He gives this to the dinosaurs. They become like savages again. And our main character, Rex,
voiced by John Goodman,
who doesn't sound like him half the movie.
No, he does not.
Almost eats the brother before our...
It almost steps on the main
human. Yeah, I was say there's a main human protagonist.
Humans.
Two of them.
Yeah.
The main male protagonist.
Yeah.
Almost gets stepped on. Again, we're brushing over a lot of this. You don't need the details.
We're trimming the fat.
And
for an hour and 10-minute movie with some of the advancing plot that they have, you don't need us to fully.
We're probably moving about as fast as the movie does.
Honestly, yeah.
Basically, the kid talks the dinosaur out of it. Doesn't eat the cereal anymore. The kid's basically like, "Stop! You're done. This is not you." Blah blah blah. He doesn't eat the scientist. Blah blah. Whatever. The kids who we learned earlier in the movie don't have the best home lives.
Oh,
make up with their parents, and then the movie ends. There's a. I didn't take a lot of notes, but there are a lot of things that we should talk about.
Of note.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me go back for starters, and you cut me off where you want to. The wish radio.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this, so please.
The thing I wrote down with the wish radio is it's very funny because the first two wishes that you hear, the very first one is a kid saying, "I wish I could grow a mustache like my father."
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
Whatever.
Weird kid.
Second wish, you see, because as he's seeing the wishes, there's these bubbles going by with the kids.
Very wish. Disney.
Yeah. And so you're seeing the wishes in these bubbles, right?
I wonder I guess we know where they got that idea from.
And the second wish is this little girl who is visibly upset with a sister in the background and says, "I wish my sister would be nicer to me." Like very, like, you could tell.
Very dour, yeah.
She's, "I wish my sister was nicer to me." And then after that, about 30 kids saying, "I wish I could meet a dinosaur."
Yeah, it's true,
like,
yeah. All of them.
It goes straight from this poor girl who has a bad relationship with her sister to a bunch of kids wishing
I want to see a dinosaur.
Yeah, like, I wish I could ride a dinosaur, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that specific segment, I can hear kids' wishes. I'm almost positive they talked about it on Podcast The Ride recently, but I can't remember which episode.
They probably could have done a lot more with that to like show like what it really is, but they needed to.
Yeah,
we gotta go. Like, just move to the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, and on top of this, Mr. Scientist Man is also in like a floating ship, and who's there with him, Ryan? His
alien
buddy
guy.
that's a little alien.
Yeah, he said, he's like, I've traveled through time and like to different planets or whatever.
He said
like,
to a future where worlds must get along or something.
Yeah, because that's how he became friends with the little alien guy. Because otherwise it would be really weird.
Yeah. Okay, so from there, Dream Machine. Do we want to get into our main characters, or where do you want to go to from there?
We just need to talk about what their objective is.
Oh,
like, why are they going to? So their plan is we're gonna send these 4 dinosaurs. I don't even know if we said there were 4 of them yet. And I'll let you describe the types of dinosaurs that they are. When we get to
I'll
the main
have to.
characters.
And I don't even remember all their names.
Yeah, I got their names for you. So because I watched this earlier today.
Yeah.
Did you watch it today?
I watched it today. Yeah,
we both
watched it today, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I got their names, but the main scientist guy, he's going to send these 4 dinosaurs down to Earth specifically to the Museum of Natural History, just to
New York.
Yeah, just to grant the wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No scientific purposes, no like research study, no like mending of like cultures and species. No, they're just
for the kids that want to see
the dinosaurs. Yeah. And I mean, we're skipping ahead, but like eventually the dinosaurs are just gonna live at the museum. Like it's gonna be like a meet and greet with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like if you go meet Mickey Mouse at Disney, but it was a giant
and it's
dinosaur.
very funny because, like, again, skipping ahead, we see them at the end at the museum, and they're like posed up, and the kids are like, "There they are, they're the dinosaurs." And then I think it's Rex that's like, "It's showtime," and then they start moving.
Well, the curator says,
yeah, what's her name?
Blabe or something like that.
I don't
It's
know.
a weird ass name.
Yeah.
It's like Professor Bleb.
But like they're like being like stationary, like they're statues, and then
they move.
They kick it off and they start moving.
Because I think they're supposed to like not tell their parents or whatever. That's the premise I kind of got. Because he told the one kid he was talking to, he was like, "Yeah, this is our little secret." And I was like, "Wait, this is a secret?"
Yeah.
Like it advertised all over the entire city.
Yeah, she literally is plastering it everywhere. Yeah.
Over the entire city, there's a dinosaur exhibit coming to the Museum of Natural History, and you're like, "This is only for kids."
No, you can't bring.
All the parents have to sit outside while all the kids are like, "Yeah, all the kids can be all in this room together with this creepy old lady
and dinosaurs."
Yeah. And you all have to just drop them off.
Yeah.
Very strange. I don't know why they made it that like only the kids could see them. I thought that was kind of weird.
What my other note was, because it was around the same time.
Well, tell us about the characters, because I'll give you their names after you describe them.
Okay, so main character, and we know his name is Rex.
Yeah, Rex.
T-Rex, voiced by John Goodman.
Yep. I don't have all the other voice actors in my bag.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know there's some notable names like Rhea Perlman's in it. Martin Short.
She plays the pterodactyl.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Martin Short's
Short is the clown.
He's the clown
later on.
Very small part for Martin.
Very small part, but you can immediately tell it's who it is.
Yeah. I know there's other notable names. I just don't have them.
Okay, so there's the pterodactyl.
That's Elsa.
There's a triceratops.
That's Oog.
And then
Oog, I think.
The last one, I don't really know. It kind of.
I know what type of dinosaur he is.
You do?
He's like Ducky from Land Before Time, whatever that one is.
Right. I thought you meant like you actually knew the species. I'm trying to think of what that's called.
His name is Dweeb.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the only one I do remember the name besides Rex. Mm-hmm. Don't know what kind of dinosaur it is. But
if you've seen Land Before Time, it's like
Ducky.
It's the one that's like they stand upright. They have like the little like tendril on the back of their heads.
What the heck those dinosaurs are called, and I should.
You kind of think of them in like water.
Hadrosaurs. A hadrosaur, I believe.
I don't know. They probably say in the movie.
Oh,
if you don't know, I certainly don't know.
Yeah, let's just go with that. Anyway.
Those are the four main characters. And then the two human main characters.
Yes. Which the first one we encounter when the dinosaurs land in the water, because they get chucked out of this ship with parachutes.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
As if one of them can't fly.
Well, they don't give the pterodactyl a parachute.
Oh, they did?
The pterodactyl has the raft.
Oh, you're right. So they end up landing on this kid who's floating down the Hudson, one could assume.
Making an egg and toast sandwich.
Yeah, because he's trying to escape to the circus.
Yeah. Via water.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our female main character, what's her name? Cecilia. I'm trying to even remember now. How do they meet her?
He and the pterodactyl are going to like scope out like a way to get the dinosaurs to like get to the museum.
Right.
And he sees her like in the window.
Yes. I remember him seeing her through the window. This was one of the things that I wrote down.
Okay.
This was kind of a crazy line.
Okay, I'm ready.
Where she's like saying things about her parents and how like she doesn't like them or whatever.
We need to talk about the parents.
And the kid, the boy, what's his name? Louis. He says, "What's with the dig at your parents? Do they beat you or something?"
He does say that. Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And then it's not acknowledged after that.
Yeah, and then they don't say anything else after that.
We need to talk about her parents.
Go ahead.
They might be the worst like animated parents of all time. Like we never see them in terms of like them having dialogue, but the way that things the two kids are by themselves. We mentioned Louis, the boy. He ran away from home. He's going to join the circus. And his reasoning, he says it in this scene with the girl. He's like, his reasoning is my parents show me too much affection.
Yes.
And I want to, be rebellious and get away from them.
Can I touch on that really quick?
Yeah.
Which is also foreshadowed. Basically, the whole reason we're even
here,
we completely skipped this. The whole reason you're hearing any of this story is because the movie opens up with Rex playing golf.
Oh, yeah, that's a great detail.
And there is a little bird who The parents throw a worm into the nest. All of the siblings are fighting for it.
Yeah.
And
he's getting beat up by his
he
brothers.
gets beat up, and then the mom comes over and hugs him and like smothers him, and the brothers are like, "Oh, big baby, the little baby, blah blah blah." So he's like, oh, "I want to go off on my own," and he jumps down and lands.
But he can't fly yet.
Yeah, so he can't fly, so he lands on Rex's golf ball. And then Rex tells him this story.
That's why we why we tell the story.
So
So the whole story is a flashback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
So Louis talking about like my parents show me too much affection. That's why I'm running away. Okay, that's fine. That's a classic. That's a classic kid trope. Yeah. This girl though, Cecilia, Child Protective Services should be involved with this family. Not only is she by herself on this. Oh, by the way, this takes place on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
This is Thanksgiving Day, and they reference like the Macy's Day Parade, which I definitely have some things to say about that. You know, I'm a big fan of that day. Not the holiday, but the parade.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of the holiday.
No, you are.
I am.
Yeah. So it's on Thanksgiving. This girl is by herself on Thanksgiving Day in this like lush apartment in New York, this high rise in New York City. Not only is she by herself, but she's by herself because her parents went on vacation to like an all expense paid resort. And not only did they do that, they sent her a postcard that said, "Wish you were here. Hey, assholes, take the kid with you. You have a high-rise apartment in New York City. Buy another plane ticket. Put her on a fucking cot in the hotel room. What is this?" And that's not even the worst thing that I saw in that scene. But the postcard is hilarious because it's like a picture of them, and they did like the Pixar mom body on the mom. I was like, okay, I'll relax with that. But then there's another framed picture that they zero in on in the house. Did you remember this?
No.
It's the one. It's in black and white, and it's I think at like a school event for her, and it's called Parents' Day. And her table's in the center. It's surrounded by a bunch of other tables with kids with their parents, and her table's center in the picture. And it's just her by herself with two empty chairs next to her.
Damn.
Okay, ignore the fact that that happened. They framed that and put it up in the house. They framed a picture.
As a reminder to themselves
of
how much they don't love their kids.
They framed that picture. She came home from that school event with that picture, and probably like a week later when her parents showed up at home again, saw, wow, this is great, and put it in a frame. That just like it's a thing you don't notice as a kid, and then when you're an adult, you watch. Was like, these people are awful.
Yeah,
awful.
No, they're
horrible parents, and they try to redeem them at the end. Like, get out of here.
It happens in like 30 seconds. They're like, and then they made up, and it's just a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, it is. It's like, no, I'm not falling for that. No. That kid. If any kid should run away from home, it's her. It's her. Yeah.
Since we're already talking about the two main character kids,
sure.
I want to touch on something. And again, we're kind of skipping throughout the movie here. They gave them quite the like romantic story.
And the dinosaurs are encouraging.
And the dinosaurs throughout the whole movie.
It's weird.
They're like pushing for it.
Rex does that like little like
yeah. But at the end of the movie, the little girl, and this happens in other movies, but the little girl kind of gives Louis a peck, kind of like whatever, kisses him
on the lips.
Yeah. And then he says something like, "Oh, stop, don't do that, blah, blah, blah," whatever. And she says something along the lines of, "If anyone should be kissing anyone, you should be kissing me."
Yep.
And then he like thinks about it for a second and then just starts kissing her. And they've got to be what, maybe 10?
I'd say maximum age is like 12.
And like,
but I think 10, maybe even younger than 10.
It's just so like they kind of put a lot of weight on it. Again, it's not like it's uncommon to see like a little kid love story in movies. I guess.
No, but they kind of really hammer it home.
Yeah,
it's like a major plot point.
It's a little interesting.
They bring it up like when the two of them have a scene together, which is a lot.
Yes,
like it's mentioned.
It comes up every time.
Yeah.
Okay, where did you want to move on from here? I'm thinking we go straight into what you said you want to talk about.
Which thing was that?
The parade.
Oh yeah.
I think we just go straight into that.
Yeah,
again, we don't need to cover
We got the parade and then basically one more scene and we're done.
Okay, so again, he said it's Thanksgiving Day.
Macy's
Thanksgiving Day parade is going on.
The greatest parade in all of maybe definitely the U.S. I think. Maybe in the world. I don't know. I'm a big parade guy.
Big parade guy.
Yeah. I just wanted the thing I wanted to talk about is all the IPs that are showcased.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
We see there's a couple that I'm not surprised by at all. Woody Woodpecker, that's Universal property, not surprised. There's a second one after him, and I'm trying to remember who it was because there's two other ones I want to talk about. But who was the second one after Woody Woodpecker? I think it was another known character, but I think it was a Universal character too. I don't remember
who he was. I think I know who the next one.
I'll skip that one. The next one is Snoopy.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
And he's just a staple of the parade.
Well, so is this next one, but I was still surprised to see him.
I was very surprised to see.
It was like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah. Then they interact with the Spider-Man.
Yeah, and these were all real balloons during the parade. The Spider-Man one is designed the exact same way that the parade was. It's him crawling on the wall. Yeah. Who was the other one?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It doesn't matter. And then they had a generic dinosaur one too for some reason.
Yes, and so the whole
is it supposed to be the one
maybe
from
it's supposed
Jurassic
to be from Jurassic
Park? It could have been. There might have been that balloon
because, like I said, in that scene is when we see in the theater in the background it says Jurassic Park on.
That's where you see
on the thing.
All right.
There's something else I wanted to point out to you about that scene. Though.
Okay.
Someone makes a cameo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have any guesses who it might be?
No, there's nothing for me in this.
The producer of the film himself, Mr. Steven Spielberg.
That's supposed to be Spielberg?
It has to be, because it roughly looks like him. Obviously, he's mostly been gray most of his life. But he's wearing an Amblin hat.
He is, you're right.
And Spielberg's known for wearing his hats.
Yeah.
So I took that as a surefire.
That beard dye is crazy.
It is crazy. They make him very dark. He's looking Billy Mays-ish.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So Macy's Parade happens.
That's where the musical number is.
That's where the big musical number
was.
There's
only one. I liked it. I liked it.
It's kind of out of place.
I liked
Loved it.
Yeah, it's great. Great number.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It's the first time John Goodman kind of sounds like himself.
Yeah, true.
Because the rest of it, he truly does not sound like him.
His voice is hidden very well.
Yeah. But the song's good. He sings it again at the end during the credits, going into the credits, I believe.
And then Little Richard sings it in the credits.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one last scene that we wanted to talk about.
Essentially the end of the movie.
Basically the end of the movie.
The last 20 minutes all takes place in one spot.
So like we talked about earlier, the villain of the movie is the scientist professor guy's brother.
Yeah.
And Screw Eye. Because we didn't say the other guy's name. It was something else Eye.
Like
Clear Eye or something whatever.
Stupid, yeah.
And then the brother is Screw Eye because he literally has a screw in
one of his eyes. Is a screw,
yeah. We don't really know his motives. He runs this like weird kind of creepy circus. He transforms people.
It was like if Halloween Horror Nights was a circus.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Because like even as the people were coming in, they were like scaring them.
Yeah, all the perverts coming in. Yeah, all the weird single guys in suits coming home from work. It was like, that's weird.
But basically, he kidnaps the kids because Louis, right, was his name?
Louis, yeah.
Is trying to run away to the circus, but at this point he's friends with the dinosaurs who are telling him not to go there.
Yeah, and Cecilia's telling him he shouldn't do it anymore either.
They still end up over there.
He signs the document in blood. Like, he didn't have to sign it after he pricked his finger with the blood, but he still did anyway. Yeah. And then Cecilia, because she's down bad, signed it too.
Yes.
So they're now. Then the dinosaurs show up, and the dinosaurs are like, "This is Professor Screw Eye. We were told to stay away from him. Let's get out of here." And Screw Eye is like, "Nope, they signed the contract.
They're contractually obligated,
them now."
And then what does he do? He turns them into monkeys.
Which I don't really know how he did that. Like through his eye.
Through his eye. That's what I'm saying. There's so many questions that this movie kind of leaves you with that as a kid you don't care. You just know.
I can also control the dinosaurs too, which we haven't gotten to. But
so let's just skip right to that.
The dinosaurs. He basically tells the dinosaurs, "I will release the kids if I get you instead." And they're all just like, "Yes, okay, we'll do it." They give him the brain drain pill, which wipes out all of the serial mind stuff, turns them back into ferocious normal dinosaurs, and he puts them in chains.
Yeah.
Then they're doing the exhibit. A bunch of weird acts are going on. There's
goblins or whatever. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like when the guy's mask comes off and it like falls in the crowd. That's why it reminded me of Horror Nights. I was like, oh yeah, that's what this is. Because I thought that was all like weird mystical shit too.
Yeah,
but no, it's just people in costumes.
Well, and then this is where we mentioned him earlier, but there is a clown. He's
kind of like an insignificant character,
but he's like helping the kids through this. He's like their inside man with the circus, and he's
barely in the movie.
He has them dress as like
demons,
the demons that are in the little opening segment. And that part made me laugh and think of Horror Nights because the kids are scaring them.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to scare the people. And he's like, why? That's what they come here for. They wanted to get scared. And I'm like, that is Horror Nights.
Yeah.
So basically, the dinosaurs get all mad, and then we actually kind of already talked about this. This is the part where Rex is gonna eat Screw Eye.
Yeah, but
and Louis talks him down.
Louis uses the power of friendship to give Rex his brain power back.
Yep.
Sure.
And then that's basically the end of the movie. After that, the brother shows up.
The brother shows up. He takes the dinosaurs and the kids up into his ship.
And Ryan, what happens to Screw Eye?
He gets eaten by
crows.
Like
eaten by crows.
Eaten to the point where there's no remains.
Just the screw.
Yeah, just the screw.
That's
really weird.
And you don't see the crows eat them. They all like converge on him, land on him, and they fly away, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And just the screws left.
Very weird. Very off-putting.
And then the movie ends with a quick little montage of Rex saying, "And the kids made up with their parents," and blah,
we see
blah.
We see them at the museum.
We see them at the museum. Yeah.
And then
that's it.
Yeah, that's the movie.
And we talked about it in whatever this was, 20 minutes maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that when you're watching it.
Yeah, like it flies.
It flies by, and again, it sounds like we're skimping out on a lot of details, and we skipped down some, but
not much,
not a lot. Like we
didn't talk about the chase scene, standard chase scene.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool, but
very 90s some of it.
If you want to watch this, I mean, it's not going to take a lot of your time.
I think it's a fun little watch. If you have kids,
yeah, 100%.
If your kid likes dinosaurs, I think it's a fun watch. I will say, I still liked it.
Yeah, it's fine,
but it's not as good as I remember it being.
No,
but that's because I was a child. I had this on VHS, which was
I'm pretty sure I had this.
Yeah, like the old plastic case one.
The shells.
Yeah, the shell. Yeah. I had that. I don't know why I had this one. Yeah,
because you liked it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's it.
I think there's one more thing that not related. We've covered We're Back, and now we're back.
We're back.
But I think it would be cool for you just to, as much as you want to say about it, kind of give like the big life event that has happened to you since
we did kind of touch on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I got married. That was part of the reason we took a break.
That was a big reason.
It was getting to crunch time with all the wedding planning, so I was doing a bunch of that stuff. And then, just beyond that, getting back into life after that and, whatever. And then Ryan, he's got his work and everything. So
yeah, this is the last 4 months of the year are always crazy busy for me now. Yeah. So, which is great.
Which is good. It's
I
good
would like
busy,
all 12 to be like this.
But no, it was a great time. It was a fantastic day. Everything for all the anyone who's been married, I speak like I'm some pro now.
Yeah, right.
But it is stressful. Luckily, Sam and I didn't have too much stress leading into it. We did have some though, because you never know. Is this going to work out? How is this going to look? Are people going to be too hot? Is it going to be too cold? Like, what is the weather going to be like? Everything that we could have possibly been worried about ended up fantastic. It was perfect. The ceremony went great. The weather was great. The venue, we love the venue we chose. It was beautiful. Like, we've gotten the photos back just recently. We were looking at them, and it just...
How'd I look?
It looks fantastic. You look great, actually. I'll make sure to send you them.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun, and as cheesy and dumb as this sounds... you always feel like, I'm going to be nervous the day of a wedding,
Sure.
Whatever.
You didn't seem it.
I was, but I feel like just like the normal amount of nervous that anyone would be before something big.
Yeah.
As those final days were getting closer, I just kept telling myself, like, I am so excited to celebrate with a bunch of family and friends.
Yeah.
Obviously excited to marry Sam.
Of course.
Duh. But like the prospect of just like so many family and friends are going to be there, and people from out of town and out of state and stuff that you don't get to see that often, getting the chance to kind of celebrate with everybody and bring people together too that haven't maybe seen each other in a long time, whatever.
I met a lot of people that came up to me that night and were like, I'm a big fan of the stuff that you guys have worked on. It's such a pleasure to actually meet you.
I meant to actually ask you if anyone talked to you.
I was like,
I was like, I wonder how many people are like, oh, so you're Ryan.
It was like 4 or 5 different groups or individuals that came up to me, whether I was like in the drink line or like coming back from the bathroom or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, I did mean to ask you because I was like, a lot of people know that we do this. But
I've met a couple of them before, a couple of your other friends.
But I was like, I wonder how many people are going to be like, oh, you're Ryan,
Yeah. And they recognized me too.
I mean, you've got a great face. So, but no, it was fantastic. It was such a great day. Like I said, afterwards we went our honeymoon to Monterey Bay, which I fell in love with it over there. I'd been through the area, but never spent a lot of time there. Big Sur, Monterey Bay, it was fantastic. Loved it over there. Carmel, But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad you were able to be there.
It was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, it was
some
a great
big
time.
stuff happened at that event. Big stuff.
Yeah,
but
big stuff.
that's
You'll find out on another
that's
time.
It will rear its
It will
head.
happen. Yeah.
No, it's going.
It's going to happen. 100%.
Something for this show. Something very important to the show.
And I honestly,
I'm
I'm so shocked that like I would never. Not in a million years did I think my wedding day X was gonna happen.
It did,
and it did. And
you
I'm like,
thought it was gonna happen.
Maybe, but it was a big question mark, and I'm like, wow. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Not too far away.
Not too far away. Probably in the next. Well, I don't want to give a timeline.
We don't even know when this is airing.
Yeah, I would say we don't know when this is gonna air, but
we're still on the tail end of crazy busy right now.
A very comfortable number was it within 10 episodes of this?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Easily. It could very much be less, but within 10 episodes, you will be informed of
very
X.
Very important.
Something. Yes.
So there we have it.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. A nice little cliffhanger there.
Yeah.
But we're back.
We're back,
and that's what we're mostly excited about. We're gonna try to get back to our normal posting schedule. These first couple may be a little bit buffered, just because again, busy time for Ryan. I'm busy with work,
and
but
this whole setup
and getting this set up.
We kind of had a groove at our old one. We knew what to do.
Yeah.
But this will be better for us once it's officially set
most
up.
of you probably wouldn't be able to tell, but some of you who are keen and do this kind of stuff might have noticed a few extra cuts that we normally wouldn't have because we had a couple tech issues that we, in the process of recording this, said, oh, here's how we can fix that. Yeah. Here's how we can not have that next time.
People forget that this is just us doing this.
Yeah. So. We don't have a producer behind the desk and all that stuff. So
you go to our IMDb page, it's all
us.
The credits are us except one.
So just bear with us, but it's not going to be like last time. We're not going to be gone for 2 months or whatever it was.
No, we are back.
We are back. We're very excited to be back, and we cannot wait to bring you more because we both have very long lists of tons of things we want to talk about.
I don't even think this was on either of our
Neither
lists.
is out of our list. Yeah. This was on, but it was something
just a silly bit.
It was a good bit. Yeah, we really did this for the bit of, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
But all that said, we're back. Thank you so much for rewinding with us, and we will see you all next time.